It's Monday, May 13th. My guest isn't here, but you'll have me, Jason Schwartz, and this is the Neutral Zone. Welcome. A little bit after 11, my guest, Kimokeo, is still paddling his way in. Kimokeo Kapahulehua, who many of you know, has a foundation here. The only reason I can say his name, I know him a long time. He's a running guy. You know, you see him, and when you try to have a meeting with him, 12 people come up and they're talking with him, and he's trying to return calls and be on time. Well, we have a guest today who's known by many of you. He did the blessing, I understand, for the airport for the car rental place. And he's active with kids in canoe, and I want to call it canoe, Hawaiian paddling for years, and he's doing blessings for openings of restaurants, coconuts here on Maui and around the world. So he's a busy guy. So I expect to see him. One of the staff here said they'd see him after the show. So I expect to see him here, and I look forward to it. In the meantime, I'm happy to be here with you. This is an interesting Monday morning, May 13th, 2019. There's a lady named Amanda Eller who they're searching for up in the forest here in Maui, Makawao and above there. And a name came to me of someone else who was searching for their daughter, and someone else I know in the mainland who used to live here is Charles Davidson. His daughter was lost years ago, and seems to be a lot of question. I'm not bringing up any negatives. I'm praying that she is safely found and okay, and everyone is wonderful. I just have so many areas that I'm seeing this morning. I like to bring good things, which is why I have Kimokeo. We had Dwayne Elliott talking about Boys to Men. We've had a lot of very positive guests and a lot of people talking about issues, some positive, some not so positive. Kimokeo, if you're listening, I'd be surprised. KAKU 88.5 FM on your dial, also found on TuneIn on your phone, and you can put it in and choose it as one of your favorites and check in and see all kinds of great shows here at KAKU. I don't think 88.5 FM, it's because it's line of sight. If you're in Kihei, you may not get it well or at all, because you have to wonder where's the top of Akaku building where the radio is being broadcast from. But we also have MauiNeutralZone.com. You can hear all our shows there, and Facebook Live. So, you know, we're set for the big time here and being visible. MauiNeutralZone.com links back to the Maui Arts and Music Association. I just heard the opening commercial was Maui Arts and Music Association. In fact, our current sponsor for these, we do it in 3-month increments. You can be more than that, but David Bryan is our sponsor. David Bryan is the founder and head of New Road School in Los Angeles and Santa Monica, California. He built 4 campuses, and they have 700 students. He was there from 1995 till 2013. He's also the chairman of the board of the Ojai Foundation, and he's a director at Brave New Films. He's always inspired me toward greatness. He's my little brother. He's my brother, David. And, you know, we're here at the Neutral Zone, and when I mentioned to him what we were doing, he said, wow, can I be a sponsor? Anyone can be a sponsor. You know, there's a guy named David Packman who you'll hear on Pacifica Radio. I think they may carry that even on this station. And it's amazing to me because there are people all around the world now listening to these shows about all kinds of interesting subjects. That's why with what's happening this morning, I hope Amanda is found. But we've had some things going on here, lots of things involving the Maui getting larger, and one of our original sponsors was Nick Drance. Nick has themaui.miracle.org. He's still a sponsor. You'll see him on our website. When you're a sponsor forever. We appreciate and include you into this vision. And this vision is we have all the answers. The government, we like to check in with them and see how they're doing to help us, but we have all the answers, and we're the one doing it. If the government has rules and you think that the few dollars that are coming through the government are going to solve all our problems, I think you're very short-sighted, because it's the private sector that has the money and the roots and the land and the control of all the action and all the activity. So we're going to have good people on about homeless. We've had a couple of people that were in the system, but we're going to talk about development. We're going to bring people in and put them together with other people right here on the air, and we hope that all of you will join in. You know, we have 808-873-3435. We have the capacity to be a call-in radio station. We just don't have the listenership, and at least I don't yet, but I want everyone to be realizing that this is interactive communication here, and we want your input. And we're the neutral zone. We want to talk about all things and all kinds of things about issues. I have a lot of things that come at me and come to me. Some are sensitive, and I don't care to just blurt things out irresponsibly. So I'm hoping to have interesting guests that are sensitive in the news. I don't like to book my shows too far in advance. You can see here, Kimokeo, we spoke. He was on his way to Japan and didn't go because of what's going on with the weather. I'm hoping that he'll show up here soon. If not, we'll just keep talking like this, and I'll be playing some music and bringing up stuff. You know, I watch in the news, I see an article in the New York Times that says the Russians are behind the idea that 5G is a problem. Well, before there were Russians, there were 5G specialists and 4G and 3. Deborah Green was one of the guests on our show. You should go and watch that show again. You should talk to Deborah Green as well. But, you know, I'm watching the news and seeing twists and turns. What makes something real news? If I tell you something, is that fake news because I'm not bonded as a New York Times reporter, or the Maui News or the Maui Times, or, you know, what makes it? Did Maui Watch and Maui Now come on the scene? What gave it? Was it people watching? And where's credibility? Where does it begin and end? How do we know? What a world we're living in. So that's what we're going to do here at the Neutral Zone. And whether you're from Maui or from Oahu or from wherever you are, we are all one working at this, and working at this a long time. You know, and I remember when I first met Kimokeo under another name. He ran for politics. That was in the middle here in the 90s. But he's I think it was 90s. You know, time runs on. Maybe it was 2000s. I've seen so many incarnations of people here. You know, I was telling him, I think it's very interesting that he's been able to, quote, walk the line. There are many camps of Hawaiians that are really strongly against tourism and, you know, would like the government to change today, like the possession to change today, hands to change. And then there are those that don't want to have anything like that happening. And we have classes of society right now. I have people on the mainland saying they want to come here. They got $75,000 because their husband just died and they're coming to Maui. They want to buy a condo. And I said, well, do you have any income? No. Okay. So you're going to come and start a business here. Okay. So they're 70 years old and they're 75,000. Let's see, if you're going for a loan and an average condo is 440,000. Let's cut that in half and then cut it in half again. And you still see this place is overpriced. Our rentals are overpriced. We have to do something on an emergency basis. I would like to have Tasha Kama come on. I'd like to, you know, I've had a couple of council people that were on already before they were council people, and even our mayor before he was mayor, Mr. Victorino. In fact, he'd be a welcome guest here. I haven't even asked him yet because with so many things going on. We've had some terrific guests on our show. We had Brian Cohn, who runs the creative media program at the University of Hawaii Maui College, and Barry Wurst, film critic, fantastic teacher. Really, we had an amazing world cinema class. He's got all kinds of plans, and both of these guys, and just an amazing island we're living on, and that's what we like to share here. But housing and these problems that I'm talking about, I don't think can be solved at a governmental level. I think that the answer is us. If I ask Goodfellow why an A and B to be partners, and we bring in third party, and we have a nonprofit to be able to launch the housing project, and we have plans from these guys, and we have land from here, and we know long term where to get water from the air, from the water supply. All these things exist right now, and I don't think that they're not happening. I think they are happening, but they're not happening fast enough. And, you know, when I was talking earlier, I go all over the map. We are saturated here. We only have so much room. Try to get from point A to point B used to be 15 minutes. Now there's traffic. And not only is there traffic, it's glut. And that's just beyond. And there's no housing that's affordable. And people on the mainland that want to come here and buy but can't afford even to start the process. They want to rent, but they hear $1,500, $1,000 for a room in a house. What? So we talk about all kinds of stuff like that when the time is right. I'm not sure why Kimokeo isn't here, and I don't think calling him during the show is the way to go. But we'll find out. Let me play you a piece of music. You know, they always wonder, what am I playing? I'm going to play a piece of music that was written by my friend Lono, who gave me permission to play this song. It's called Unlock the Hope. He wrote this. We were in Maui Meadows, and we went over to see Jack Lewin, who was speaking across the street at someone's home. And Lono came home and wrote this song and asked me to sing it. So I love this song. It's a good song.
The time has come to make a change. The time has come to unlock the hope that lives in each and every one of us. And we must do our part. We hold the visions God dreams of. Our hands can heal the ones we love. Let's gather round and let us make a stand. For you and me, unlock the hope and there's a better life. Unlock the hope, there'll be no turning back. But nothing changes unless we unlock the hope. The time has come to make a change. The time has come to unlock the hope that lives in each and every one of us. And we must do our part. We hold the visions God dreams of. Our hands can heal the ones we love. Let's gather round and let us make a stand. For you and me, unlock the hope and there's a better life. Unlock the hope, there'll be no turning back. But nothing changes unless we unlock the hope. But nothing changes unless we unlock the hope. But nothing changes. Unless we unlock the hope. Unless we unlock the hope. Unless we unlock the hope. Unless we unlock the hope.
Wow. That was recorded, I don't even know how many years ago. Renato Guasconi had a studio in Kihei, and that's when we met, when I came in with Lono and recorded a few songs. Lono has written some beautiful songs, and one one of these days we're going to have music here in the studio. I'm going to do some recording remote, but also we're going to have some live musicians here doing probably an acoustic set. Not really, can't do more out. We might do it in here. Some of these other shows, Bill Best and Bill and Bobby have music sometimes in their show, and some of these other guys. So we'll see. We're going to do something maybe as a station and maybe even bigger than a station. Maybe a Grand Central station. Kimokeo, if you're listening, please sign in. We'd love to have you. Come on in anytime. When I have a show like this with a no show, it's only happened a couple of times. Actually happened with the same person twice, and she will be here sometime as our guest. But I know that when I get rambling, I get brutally honest, and so we're going to slow that down. We're going to do some music. If I'm brutally honest, it's mostly because of the frustration. We have too many people for the services and too many people for the roads and too few places to live for too many people, and we are oversaturated. And how to solve that? By pricing people coming here unless they own a place or unless they have a lot of money, making it on Maui. What are we going to do when we don't have people here to serve these tourists coming? And what we're going to do? We're going to house people. It's getting to be really, really crazy. So I think it's an emergency. So I invite Mayor Victorino. I'm going to probably talk to these guys privately, but no one's tapped the things that we have to offer here. And they have our plans, and I like and think they're very, very, less than what's needed. Got to multiply it by 10 or by 100 or lots of things. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to be encouraging guests that can actually say, yes, we'll commit that. And yes, we would do that if we did this. Shan Satsui is going to be our guest, and we have people that are Maui Tomorrow, Sierra Club, Lauren Pang talking about 5G. That's funny that came up as an Akaku show on my feed in Facebook. The day the New York Times has a story about Russia being the 5G culprits, that 5G is perfectly safe. I don't know who's saying that, and it's interesting that it's in the New York Times. Anyway, to be continued. When I saw the name Eller, Amber, who's been lost, and then in the same article I saw the name of someone that was just mentioned to me on Friday who wanted to talk to me. I'm hoping that this show can be a valuable part of the Maui talk fabric, and like time like now, the call in if you want, 873-3435. Please feel free to call in. Anyway, I was just telling you we have a new sponsor that happens to be my brother. And, when I saw Brave New Films and then I found that he was on the board, I realized, we are been doing stuff. He's started a school. He was, interesting. We both went to college in New York, University of New York, State University at Stony Brook. And a lot of things have happened in our lives. A lot of untapped opportunity to cooperate that hasn't happened. I think it's the old story of too much to do and too little time and too little money. Well, that's why I encourage us to look at private sector involvement, because like Jesus said, when in Rome, give the Romans what they want, but we got something else. So we can get the solutions, and whoever will own it, that may not be as important as the functionality and the use and solving some of these major problems where the government can help us, but they don't need to be the source of the funding or the impetus for the action. That's us. Now, there have been different groups doing these things, but I think that if we openly talk like this and more, that we can create enough projects to immediately address some of these problems in a big way and bring things down to somewhat a quiet roar. I have people the businesses talking to me, telling me, we don't want to see $15 an hour. That's going to only force our prices up and give us less employees because we need the money too. And And now we have the thing going on with the tariffs, with China changing and all kinds of uncertainty. What happens if Walmart suddenly doesn't have as many products because they have the same products, but they don't have the things we want and the prices are higher? And we're going to start making and waiting for this. We're on an island, remember. So who wins in that kind of a battle? Amazon, where you go looking for things farther away and suddenly retail closes up, and it's going to be a very interesting time. You know, we have complicated our lives through all our brilliance in creating all these newfangled systems and internet and wireless and super wireless and faster and more power and more waves and more cancer and more people sick from what they're eating, and talk about GMOs all the time. You know, I mean, some people are so sick and tired of hearing these things because they figure that everyone would not want these things to be in our foods. So we see more response from a Costco. We see things like that. But again, things in the hands of the few and someone doling out to us. So self-sustainability takes separate individual participation in all kinds of things. And the farming and all the things going on with our new land developer. I look forward to talking to him here and having you guys check in, both with questions and involvement, and maybe some of you want to be here on our show. Any word from Kimokeo? I would think that he would be walking in, but I'm not going to call him while we're on the air. Let's listen to another. Here's a song. Here's one called Love Is What You Make It. I wrote this with a guy from England named David Simeon. He wrote some great songs. But this one's Love Is What You Make It.
Love is what you make it.
But this was 1977.
Deep inside you always know.
Memory Lane.
And when it comes, you can't mistake it. There was a time when I was a young man, full of hopes and dreams. And when it seemed it all got bad, I realized the love we had. Love is what you make it. And when it comes, you can't mistake it.
So interesting. I'm listening. I'm hearing all the parts. These are some of the basic tracks. There's a guitar overdub. This guitar player was an Iron Butterfly named David Doran. Remember Iron Butterfly? Well, that really dates me. The drummer, Ken Park, played with Donna Summer. She was hot stuff baby this evening. Jim Drennan on keyboard. He's a preacher in Florida. How funny to listen to that stuff. All right. Bueno, I don't think Kimokeo is coming. What do you think? Let me just see. It's 8:27. It's just perfect time for us to get ready for some of our sponsors. Some of my sponsors, we've had Noka Oil Motors, and we've had Kama'aina Loan, Richard Dan, wonderful guy, Richard Dan, and Rick Tolan at Noka Oil Motors. These people felt it was important to support radio and free speech and me on the airwaves. And so, television is a different animal, but radio, we need support from our community. So if you're so moved, we would love to speak to you to be sponsors of our show and to be able to help support live radio, if you will, on Maui. The Neutral Zone, with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to thank Maui Arts and Music Association, Treemakers Foundation of Maui, for their support. Since 1991, with hundreds of television shows and their MauiArtsandMusic.com website, they have championed self-sustainability on Maui. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. and replayed Saturday at 7 a.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Otherwise, you can get live radio, but you can't get it here in free way like we do here. Mana'o is a station, you know them, but we're right next door, and right with KAKU is Akaku Maui Community Media. And in fact, we put our shows on TV to try to drive more people here to the radio so that you can hear us at TuneIn at Monday 11 a.m., also Saturday at 7 a.m. We're live on Akaku, which is you can find on KAKU 88.5 FM radio. And but we're also at MauiNeutralZone.com anytime. All of our shows are there. And they're all up on YouTube as well. So you can find some of our shows and some of our guests. Some of our shows and some of our guests, these are like little bulbs of light. That's what I'm seeing. And they all come together and have a picture. I've been building this picture here for 25 years and talking about it. The Maui Arts and Music Association is not an active doing organization. We're holding open holding open a gateway, a doorway, a marketing doorway for Maui's art and music and culture around the world. That's what it is. It's a marketing doorway. It's a matrix. Now, there's some of the things that I talk about on the show, and I get rambling like I do here now, are just ideas. They're not me doing them. It's not unique, but it's a place, we're a forum to be able to bring in someone like Goodfellow. Or maybe there's a guy that's off island. There's a gentleman who, I don't know if he's owner or was owner of a large distillery company, alcohol. And he did some things here on island to preserve some plants and has a foundation set up. And we met in an unfortunate event, a funeral of a mutual friend, in fact. But a guy like that has the money and capacity, and others, to be financially involved, to be able to create things in the private sector that we could solve some of these problems. Sometimes I wonder whether the people that are able to make money, Everett Dowling, for example, or people that are working on projects for years that are long vision, like Maui, I don't even know the name, I forgot, the 640 that's next to there and above Wailea, Maui Meadows, and all that's going. That is a big, high profit thing, but we have needs for the local people, and we can either do it the hard way, which is what we're doing, or do it the easier way, which is use some of the technologies the world has and get some people that are not from here who have vision or share our vision, that have money, whether it's as individuals that we're doing it, 10 and 20. And I have a program that's just been started with a company. It's called the Affinity Program. And this Affinity Program says if you have In fact, they're a base of utility kind of bills, phone bills and dish network and they give a portion of the revenue, the same services you can get as the companies you got now, and a portion of that goes to a nonprofit. So we're putting together things to create cash flow, to create jobs, but we need private sector involvement. We need people to know about it on an individual basis, on a company basis. You know, people have tried to get these programs going on Maui before. 37 nonprofits were approached with this program over the last decade by someone who you all know by name, but we're not going there. And no one's picked it up. Well, I think that's because it takes a focus and takes a cooperation. All these nonprofits can come together and not even be taking the dollars indirectly, but coming in through this brand. Like I said, we're a brand. I've been holding it open. Maui Arts and Music Association. When the internet started and we started our name, we started it knowing that we had to deal with these keywords and we have to do things like, let's see, what are we doing? And we crafted our name based on a technology that now is full blown. And here we are in the middle of it. Kimokeo is not going to be, he'll be here some other time, maybe. Soon we're going to be doing TV shows and I think we'll probably see him more on the TV side. I don't know where he is. Hey, Lou, I don't think he'll be here at noon if he's not here for the show. Let me get to these sponsors. They're probably wondering why I'm talking through them.
Do you have something to say but can't find an outlet? Did you know that Akaku offers a service called Open Mic? Here, you can come in and make a statement on any topic you want, and it's free. Play a song you wrote, recite a monologue, do a funny dance, comment on a recent event. The floor is yours. Come speak your mind for free. Appointments are available Mondays and Wednesdays between 1 and 3. Call 871-5554 today to reserve your spot.
Hi, this is Steve Summers. Join me Sunday mornings from 1 to 2 a.m. with a replay Sunday mornings from 10 till 11 for the Oldies Time Machine. It's familiar oldies from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, plus some of those rare tracks you won't hear on any other radio program. Right here on KAKU 88.5, the voice of Maui.
The Neutral Zone, with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to thank Maui Arts and Music Association, Dreammakers Foundation of Maui, for their support. Since 1991, with hundreds of television shows and their MauiArtsandMusic.com website, they have championed self-sustainability on Maui. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. and replayed Saturday at 7 a.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
iMovie is a free editing application that comes with all Apple products and is easy to learn. Have a slideshow or video content you want to edit into a fun, compelling presentation? Come train how to navigate and use the features of iMovie for desktop using a hands-on approach in this 2-day workshop at Akaku, Friday, June 14th and Saturday, June 15th. To register, visit akaku.org or call 871-5554.
The Maui Youth Now Show, focusing on youth culture today. This weekly half-hour show is produced by and created for you, taking the pulse of youth culture from an island perspective. Watch local news, current events, fun challenges, trending videos, game reviews, and learn about other youth in your community. New episodes air on Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. on Akaku 55 or catch us on Vimeo.
Well, that was a very productive break. I think that while you were listening to our sponsors, by the way, it's rare that we don't have a. That we just called Kimokeo again, and they called her from outside, And he's in California right now. He's sorry he didn't get back to me. So see, it happens once in a while. So we'll have him as a guest another time. So we have a spot here. So if you have time and you're close by and you want to come down here, 333 Dairy Road, you can be on the air or you can call in at 873-3435. If you're driving around, 88.5 FM. I'm Jason Schwartz, your host. This is The Neutral Zone. It's anything but neutral. But we talk about all kinds of things. You know, I was thinking to have guests, some of the guests that have said yes. We have very interesting guests. It's a matter of finding them and getting them in. Like, how many of you know Lucy and Danae? I know Lucy and Danae for decades now. She's a wonderful lady. Oh, yeah, she's involved with the Sierra Club. Albert Perez from Maui Tomorrow. These are some of our guests. Alice Lee from Council. Shane Sinensi. Kelly King, Tasha Kama. I hope to get Mike Victorino, our mayor, again here now that he's in office. He has his own show, so he may not think to be on. Kadar St. John. Kadar has the Temple of Peace. Kadar and his wife Shelley have taken that property and taken that place, and they are wonderful. I love them, know them for years. Wonderful people. And a great guest for our show. Now we have, I'm going to have different people if I can find them. I know I wanted to have Art Vento on. I want to talk about the Maui Arts and Cultural Center. I remember when Art was there, when it was being built. He was the director of all the activity building that place. I've heard people talk about the sound acoustics in the MAC, and I know those walls move. I'd like to get more information about making that a sound, different kind of sound chamber there in the main room, the castle. Jim Loomis. You know, when I talk about sages of the ages, Jim Loomis is one of them. Jim Loomis is a great guy. You're going to really enjoy him. He has a great book out, by the way, but you can look that up. Kalekoa. You remember there was someone that was a teacher at the school? Samuel Kaeo, Kalekoa. Well, we hope to have him on. He's a very, very nice man, very, very thoughtful and caring. And you remember that telescope thing? All this stuff keeps happening around us, and we want to talk to all kinds of interesting people. So, well, Louis Hokawana, who's the, I guess, the chancellor at the the UHMC college over here. You know, it's just a matter of just plugging them in. I don't like to schedule too far in advance, and like here with, that's amazing, because his friend, lives near me that I see all the time. I'm very surprised that he must have just gone out of town. Anyway, Shan Satsui is going to be our guest. I'm hoping to get Joe Bradley from the Maui News, Tommy Russo, Maui Times. We'll see some of the people. I'd like to get some of their editors and some of their writers as well. We'll see how that goes. Maybe they'll be sponsors of our show, or who knows. We have had I've been all over the map, but I think that that's part of the point of what we're doing here in the Neutral Zone. People come up to me all the time and tell me they'd like to be on our show. And I never know, I don't want to become like a secret super sleuth reporter publicly creating stories with people on my show and having things thrown out there without substance or without any kind. In other words, I don't want to be what I would label fake news, which is having people on and not clarifying things so that someone who's listening knows where things are opinion and where things are fact. That is a really interesting line. We deal with it in our media every day, huh? Well, Kimokeo isn't here, so, he was the subject and reason that we were getting together was we have the new school in Kihei being built, and we have all kinds of, I want to say young adults, growing adults. And we brought Dwayne Elliott on talking about Boys to Men, which is, Dwayne is here on Maui. We have a few schools, I believe, on Maui, but more have to be added, have to be approved through whatever processes. But it's going like crazy in a good way on the Big Island and on Oahu. So I thought to bring in Kimokeo because of what he is doing now. He may be in California. God knows, I don't know why. He's hard to get. I can only tell you that when you're busy, you don't know if you're coming or going sometimes. He's sorry he didn't get back to me, but here we are. I called him this morning. I thought maybe I might have had a response, but it didn't. But the backup for this show, I didn't want to just not honor my guest. I was thinking he would be here. But what he's doing is, I'll wait for all the details, but he's giving canoes from his foundation. Money comes in from all over the world, people that want to support Hawaiian paddling and youth and education about paddling and canoeing is now all over the world. Also, there was someone that lived on Maui that had a cat named Coconut, and Coconut is now Coconut's restaurant, and they've been franchised, and Kimokeo goes around and does blessings like he did it here at the airport at the car rental thing. God knows how he gets into all kinds of different things, and you see him going out for ceremonies for people that have passed away all the time as well in Kihei, and he's been an inspiration. There's a barking dog. He's been an inspiration for a lot of people to really, has been a fabric for a lot of these kids that really needed direction, and adults that really needed direction. There are, the Kihei Canoe Club and many of the things that are along the coast there really got a lot of input and start from him. I remember when I first met him, we were at the same place they are now, at the King's Pond. In fact, that was quite memorable, that spot for me in lots of ways. But that's where I first met him. And we've been friends a long time. That's amazing when I think about how many years have gone by. That's 30 years ago. It's really shocking to look from the shoreline now back and see Maui as built out as it already is, and look to the water and realize the water's still the same. Down, we don't know, things we put in our water to killing our reefs, and all these things that we fight about, just outrageous that we don't get it. We're on an island. We only have so much area, so much thing. We got to be conscious of our trash. We got to do, all of us have to do it. Not some of us, all of us have to do it. And if we have to pass laws to get us to do the right thing, you might as well just forget it. We need to do the right thing because it's the right thing. And we need to be being good examples. And that's why Boys to Men. That's why Kimokeo. That's why the kind of guests that I like to have on our show. People that are inspiring by who and what they are and what they do, and by the example they set for the youth of the world. And I think this is a good time for more music. I bet you would too. You probably could use a break from me talking. I'm going to play one that I know I can play, another one. This is from Louise Lambert. You've heard this one before. Peace in Our Hearts.
Every day, worlds are born, and worlds die away.
Yeah, different worlds. That's not there. Here we go. That's a story for another day. Seems like
now the world's so small, we see it all right here on our TV. Seems like the more we bridge the distance, the harder it becomes for us to see. Well, if all the world's a stage, Raptors in a plane with an ancient script of fear and doubt and greed. To write another page, to find a better way. Reverence for life is what we need for peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our street, peace in our house. It starts with peace in our hearts. We fear the dark, we mortgaged all our future to keep the hooded horsemen from the door. We're talking peace, but building bigger weapons so he's closer than it ever was before. But in the land of the free and the home of the brave, why do so many people need a gun? If it were just you and me, the world could be saved. If deep inside we know what must be done for peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our street, peace in our house. It all starts with peace in our heart. Seems like there's something we forgot, something real close to home. As we see life through the eyes of a child, we find again the truth we've always known. For peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our street, peace in our house. It all starts for peace in our world, peace in our country. Don't let it fall apart. Peace in our house. It all starts for peace in our world.
Louise Lambert. Peace in our hearts. Boy, that was, gosh, I'm sure 20 years ago. That won an award at a festival in Canada. That was a very, really celebrated song. That's a great song. I like singing with Louise. She sings great songs. She is a terrific player, great teacher of kids of all ages. And, I know that our island has so many people that have so much talent. We see it coming out at all the things at the Maui Academy and Maui on Stage and all and through the things in our island and the schools. We really need more. We need more venues for music, I think, in more ways. We hope to have some of that more on here. I know that they're planning on that for here and in the television station as well, to be much more interactive with our arts and our young people. They have terrific programs here. You can learn how to do things here and edit your own shows, do your own shows, do remote. All this is a very vital and active place, and you can be part of it. Children of all ages. I say children of all ages. I'm at the college having a really wonderful time learning film and media, and it's really been a terrific thing. I'm going to play one more song I have the right to play. Stardust Road. This is a movie theme. You'll catch it.
When I lived out in the country, I used to dream of money and fame. So me and my girlfriend Margot came out to L.A. And while Margot was a waitress and I was a fixing cars, We kept it all together, pretending we were stars. Margot was in the movies, and I was singing the rock and roll. We would go out by the highway to a make-believe place called Stardust Road. And we made believe it was spotlights from the cars passing on their way. The roar of the engines was our crowd as we got up on the stage. The trees are full of people calling for us to begin. And we played all night cause that highway crowd kept calling us back again. They would stand and call our names out loud and beg us not to leave. And if anyone could see, we gave them a memory to last forever. Well, now Margot is in the movies, and my album has just gone gold. The phone's been ringing off the wall, and I can't find time alone. So when Margot's tired of interviews and I can't sing another song, we go back out to the highway, to the place we still call Stardust Road. And we make believe it's spotlights from the cars passing on their way. The roar of the engines was our crowd as we got up on the stage. The trees are full of people calling for us to begin. And we played all night cause that highway crowd kept calling us back again. Yes, we do our show on Stardust Road because it keeps us free. And if anyone can see, we give them a memory to last forever. To last forever. To last forever.
See the credit rolling and rolling and rolling. That was fun. That was in the studio so long ago. That's very fun. This has been a fun show for me. Sorry we didn't have Kimokeo here today. And I'm hoping to have Albert Perez here next week. I put the word out to him, and we'll see. But we'll have someone here, but I think I'm going to hopefully have Albert Perez. And we have lots of interesting guests coming up. Thank you for joining us here at the Neutral Zone. Thank you for your patience and staying with me today. That last song, I just thought of Adi Alad, who learned in editing from over at the college. He's a great editor. That whole piece that you just heard is sort of like Thomas Rhett and Maren Morris did. Remember, they did a song and they had a whole movie going with it. Well, this one spells out the story as we go. And Willie Nelson, well, that's another story for another day. Thank you for joining us. The music business is interesting, where different music genres come together, and you kind of don't know how all these different people come together and play stuff, but we had an interesting group. Thank you for joining us. See us next week here at 11 on the Neutral Zone, MauiNeutralZone.com.